What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 43, and we're starting today's episode off with Transfer Deadline Day. Yes, Deadline Day has arrived in Career Mode. Love Deadline Days, always so fun to play in. And as you can see, we start the Deadline Day off by seeing that Barami has indeed been sold to Spurs for £2.6 million. Totally fine with that. To be honest, Barami, he was okay last season, but he hasn't been used much this year. I'm trying to give more game time to players like Lewis Cook, so here he goes. I'm okay with that. We can start transitioning the side into a younger one. We now have no players that are over the age of 30 as well, because Gomez got sold in the last episode. Now Barami's gone too. It makes our side look a lot more youthful. Still following that, we put in a new bid here for a new central midfielder, and how about this guy? His name is Mitchell Watson, who plays in the MLS for FC Dallas. He is an English midfielder, and as you can tell by the title, you know whose regen he is. He's Steven Gerrard's regen. As you can see, Felipe goes on loan to Blackburn here for 2 years. Totally fine with that. Austin decided to stay here at Vicarage Road, so we've got a bit too many strikers right now, and of course Felipe needs more game time, so I'm trying to make Traore my first choice striker alongside Troy Deeney. But yeah, Mitchell Watson, the FC Dallas midfielder, is 19 years old, first year in the game I do believe, and Steven Gerrard retired last season in the first season in the game. Gerrard is no longer a player on this game, a player on this year's FIFA, so Mitchell Watson being the only central midfielder who's English based in the MLS, whilst also being a regen, or a new gen I should say. Well, he's obviously a regen, but sort of a generated player, if you will. Because of that, Mitchell Watson must be Steven Gerrard's regen. So we offer FC Dallas a bid. They accept a £1.25 million bid. We offer him a contract. He turns down the first one, but as you can see, he does accept the second one. As you can also see, Napoli completed a deal for Christian Eriksen, and Manchester United, how about this? Had to show this. Signed Gareth Bale for £55 million. How about that? Is that a good deal? I think that's a really good deal, don't you? But yeah, Bale goes to United for £55 million. I think Louis van Gaal's done some good business there. And also, have we done some good business? Well, Steven Gerrard has agreed to sign for Watford. Steven Gerrard's regen, I should say. Steven Gerrard's regen has indeed signed for Watford. So Gerrard's regen is going to come in. His name is Mitchell Watson. He is 69 overall. He is 19 years old. He can play CM, CDM, and CAM. He's got high work rate, which I love. Really good physical stats as well. He's got 3-star weak foot and 4-star skills. Only 19 years old. I'm very happy with that deal for £1.25 million. He may not get much game time in the first couple of seasons, but if he does develop well for us, he could be a really good investment. So Watson comes in. Also Vidra, Southampton put in a bid of £4.4 million, and we said to Ronald Koeman, actually, do you know what? We'll rather keep him here, because although Vidra has been on the transfer list, I have said I wouldn't mind trying to sell the guy. Now we've loaned out Felipe to Blackburn, I was thinking it might possibly be a good idea to keep Vidra here, because Vidra's only played a handful of games this season, but he has scored once, and you know, he might get a bit more game time now that Felipe has been loaned out too. So I thought, do you know what? Vidra's not a bad player, and for £4.4 million for a reserve striker, that may not be a bad deal. But he's 24 years old, he can play deeper as well in the CAM role. I'm going to keep Vidra here. So my Vidra is actually going to stay here as opposed to leaving, which I thought he was going to do. Vidra will stay. He's 75 overall. Felipe's gone out on loan to Ewood Park, and Vidra will stay. So that ended transfer deadline day. Deadline day ends there. A pretty uneventful day, really. Selling Barami, loaning out Felipe, and bringing in Steven Gerrard's regen. But as a whole, the transfer window, I'm very pleased with what we've done. We signed 3 players on pre-contracts. A big gamble in Mario Balotelli, yes, but of course Joe Davis and Lloyd Isgrove coming in too next season. We signed Buffon's regen. We signed Gerrard's regen for £1.25 million, and we also sold Barami and Gomez, 2 older players who we weren't using too much, and Felipe's going to get more game time at Ewood Park on a 2-year loan deal. I'm happy with the business we've done in this January transfer window. Okay, I'm not going to tell you it was the best of transfer windows. I'm not going to tell you it was the we made the best deals possible. But when you think about the money we spent, just £1.25 million, 4 players on free transfers. Balotelli, Isgrove, and Davis, of course, not until next season, but Buffon's regen came in on a free this season, and of course selling on Gomez and Barami, reducing the wage bill. I'm happy with that. I really am happy with the business we've done. Also, you saw there as well, Mitchell Watson has already gone down 2 ratings. We've seen this before, when we'll sign a player and then like a day later they'll decrease in stats for some reason, but yeah, very frustrating, that one. But Mitchell Watson has gone down 2 ratings and now is actually only a 67 overall, which is kind of annoying. In the league table, we're in 3rd place. In the FA Cup, we've been drawn against Bristol City in the round of 16 stage. And of course, in Europa League, we will be taking on PSV Eindhoven, the Dutch side, over 2 legs. So this season with Watford is going quite well for us. I must admit, I have aims this season of getting into the top 4. Right now, we're achieving those aims. Yes, of course, our Capital One Cup defence was, let's be honest here, pretty pathetic, going out at home to Leeds on penalties. It was an amazing penalty shootout and everything, but either way, a really, really poor defence of our trophy. But either way, when you consider the fact that we're into the FA Cup round of 16 against Bristol City, who I think we should be able to beat, the lower league side, when we're in third place in the league table as well, doing quite well in the league, obviously, trying to break into the top four this year, currently on course to do that, and into the Europa League round of 32. Right now, with the business we've done as well, I'm calling this a pretty successful season as things stand. I'm just hopeful that in the second half of the season, we won't fall apart and won't miss out on those objectives, the main one, of course, being qualified for the Champions League. Still, we take on Leicester City for the first game of today's episode here, the first of two games in today's episode. That was the first and only chance of the game there, just before half-time. Marco Ryan Taller's strike going wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. It was a really poor first half where we dominated possession but didn't do too much with the ball. But in the second half, Leicester had pretty much their first and only chance of the game, and they'd also score from it as well. Kramaric getting the goal and opening the scoring for the visitors. The first shot was blocked by Matip, but it fell straight back to him, and he rifles the second attempt past Jack Butland into the back of the net. It was a good block by Matip initially, but it fell straight back to the number 19, who rifles the ball in. And for bottom place Leicester, coming here to Vicarage Road. I know we lost the last game to Everton, our first defeat in 13 games, got battered by 4-1, but to be honest, this is not a game we should be falling behind in at all. So just a minute after kickoff here, after conceding the first goal of the game, I was really relieved to see us hit the back of the net and equalise and get the ball in the back of the net for the first time in the game. Who scored the goal? Well, he came on at half time, Matej Vydra. Yes, I talked about him on deadline day. You just saw a few minutes ago there. I decided to keep him at Vicarage Road despite initially planning to sell him, and he comes off the bench, scores his second goal in the Premier League, second goal of the season, and makes it Watford 1, Leicester 1. So maybe it would prove to be a good piece of business keeping hold of Vydra as opposed to selling him. So Watford 1, Leicester 1. He almost got an assist here for a goal in the 71st minute, but how about this for a save by Kasper Schmeichel, son of the great Dane Peter Schmeichel, a legend in my eyes. What a save this was by his son. He'd be proud of this one if he was watching. Absolutely superb stop by Kasper Schmeichel, contender for save of the season. What a stop that was, and he keeps the bottom place side on level terms. Final chance for us fell in stoppage time. John Joe Shelby's effort was straight at Kasper Schmeichel, who parried the ball away, and eventually Danny Simpson got it clear. And it was how the game would finish as well. Final score, Watford 1, Leicester 1. So a very, very, very disappointing draw this one, because yes, of course, it's good to know we won't have back-to-back defeats after falling behind in this game, but we're taking on bottom place Leicester. We're at home, we're in third place. We've got to be winning these games. If we want to qualify for the Champions League next season, those are the games you can't afford to slip up in. You know, you're taking a relegation threatened side on at your house. You've got to make sure you pick up maximum points. And, you know, you don't have to do it with comfort. You don't have to do it with ease. But you just got to make sure you get the win. We didn't get it in that game. I was very frustrated. We should have done. I thought we played quite well, but just didn't do enough. In the second half, Leicester got possession way back in their favour. But either way, we should have got the win, in my opinion. That was a very, very disappointing draw. So that's now 3 games without a win in the Premier League. Only 1 win in 4 games in all competitions. So coming into this game here against West Bromwich Albion, just a couple days after that draw against Leicester, we had to make sure we would get it right in this game and get ourselves back to winning ways. Because when we're taking on sides in the bottom half of the table here at Vicarage Road, if we do want to qualify for the Champions League next season, we need to make sure we don't slip up in any of the games. After drawing against Leicester here, taking on West Brom, currently sitting in 16th place, Tony Pulis' side coming to Vicarage Road, there would be no excuses for us. If we don't win the game, we would know that we're losing ground in the league. That would be 3 games without a win in the Premier League, or 4 games without a win, I think, actually, in the Premier League, which is quite frankly unacceptable. We need to get it right in this game and need to get off to a good start as well. So the first chance of the game would fall pretty much directly from kickoff. We won ourselves a throw in and worked our way up the pitch here, worked our way backwards and then back up the pitch again, trying to retain possession as much as possible. As Loftus-Cheek gets on the ball here, he finds Troy Deeney. Deeney plays it back inside to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Loftus-Cheek opens the scoring 7 minutes in and gets his second goal in 3 games. So he scored against Everton, he scores here against West Bromwich Albion. We are in front in this game just 7 minutes in, and it is the perfect start as well. And that was a really, really nice goal as well. Really nice team build up there. Very, very nice passing play. And as Loftus-Cheek gets on the ball here, he ciphers the ball in off the far post with the weaker left foot, and does open the scoring and get his 6th goal in the Premier League this season. So last season he got 9. This season he's playing in a deeper role in a defensive midfield position, but I'm hoping he'll still score more goals. That's now 6 for the season. A really good finish by Loftus-Cheek, and it's Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. 7 goals, sorry. 7 goals for the season even in the Premier League, and it's Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. So we open the scoring here through Ruben Loftus-Cheek, so really, really pleased with that. We had to get off to a better start in the game against Leicester, and we did just that. So 1-0 to Watford. Ricky Lambert but the former Liverpool and Southampton striker then rifled that shot over the bar and it was still 1-0. And in the 40th minute, Nyon was denied by a really good save by Ben Foster, and eventually as Buffon gets on the ball, it comes to nothing. So at half-time, as you can see, we'd had the possession, we'd had the shots, and this time we had the opening goal of the game as well at half-time. So Watford 1, West Brom 0 going into the second half, and in the second half, West Brom did pretty much nothing. Tony Pulis' side did nowhere near enough to try and grab themselves an equalising goal. That was their first and only proper chance of the game. Sessegnon's header going harmlessly wide at the post, and in stoppage time here, Buffon goes through, tries to get himself the second goal of the game, goes to shoot, but it hits the post, and eventually West Brom get the ball away. But always how the game would finish though. Final score, Watford 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. So relief here at Vicarage Road. We do return to winning ways after a few games. We really did need that as well. I was so disappointed, as you guys could tell, after that draw to Leicester. I was really angry about that. But we do come back with a win in this game. It may not be too convincing. It may be only by a goal to nil scored in the 8th minute, but it doesn't matter. We still get the 3 points. That is the most important thing, and we do return to winning ways, which was very necessary. But that does it in the episode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave likes. That's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.